We got off the train, and we went through. There was an officer, an official there, a German officer, polished boots, white gloves, and he was showing people where to go. And that was Mengele. I didn't know it then. And we were sent to a place where we got. They cut all the hair off people and everywhere, and we had a shower. We were handed an outfit that was like pajamas and wooden shoes. And then we were marched into a camp, and we found out it was the gypsy camp. And as soon as we arrived, the new arrivals, there was a hush in the camp, and people kept coming, and I found my grandmother's oldest brother there, who had university training in Germany. He had a high military rank in the Hungarian army, and he was in charge of the disinfection unit. As we were marching in, we saw 2 or 3 truckloads of dreadful-looking people, unshaven and in shirts and full of sores and like skeletons. And we were told that they were being taken to the hospital. But I didn't give it any thought. I mean, there was so much happening around me. I instinctively tried to gravitate where there were people and where there was a movement of people. I suppose that was instinctive, and we put on our pajamas and our shoes, and we had the bath, and we were marched into this camp, and I was assigned to a block. Some of the routine, of course, we had to line up twice a day to be counted, and I remember a very skinny man, supposedly the son of a rabbi, who refused to eat, and he was just rotting away. It was, and we kept saying the Shema, and we were looking for a miracle, and I don't think anyone ever said the Shema with more feeling. And really nothing happened. Well, I shouldn't say that. I'm sitting here, so I suppose something did happen. But it was very sad. The only other thing that is perhaps worth mentioning is the huge rats that were around behind the blocks. We had a latrine running along the electrified fence, but inside our compound, where we had to go to do our powdering of nose, and they were. I've never seen rats that size. And one side of us were the Zwillings, the twins, and the other side were the bald ladies. But we weren't tattooed. Only the people who worked in Auschwitz were tattooed. In the morning we got up, and then some people started shouting, "Oven, oven," which meant we got together and we heated up each other. So there was 20, 30, 40 people. We lined up against each other, and we just stood there. The mornings were very cold, and at night, during the day it got very hot. And then all I did there was waited for the daily ration of the bread to come. We shared the bread between 12 of us or something. And the coffee, I couldn't eat the other stuff, and I got very skinny. So getting on with Birkenau, the first time in high holidays, they had a selection inside the gypsy camp, and Mengele came in. By then, we knew who he was. At first, I didn't know. And we had to line up, and we had no clothes, and we took off our clothes, and he just walked in front of the line and told people which way to go. And I noticed that he was telling the people in better condition to go one way and the skinny ones to go another way, and I, behind him, managed to, even though he told me to go there, I scooted over there. But someone tried to do that after me, and he was cut and he was beaten and thrown in with the skinny ones. Now what happened to these people? Well, they emptied one of the blocks inside the camp, and they were there for a day or 2 or 3. They no longer got any rations, and one night, it always happens at night, they rang a bell, and it was called a Blocksperr, which means nobody could get out of the block. And in the morning, those blocks stood empty. I wanted to get out of Birkenau as quickly as I could, and the next time they were asking for volunteers, I just volunteered. And I was too skinny, but I snuck into the one behind and got into the line, and I got given a clothes, and they put us in a wagon. And some 2-3 days later, we got to a place called Kaufering, and that was my out of Birkenau.